Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel, and if you're new, welcome. And don't mind my eye, I've got conjunctivitis or pink eye or whatever you want to call it, so that's why my eye looks like this, just so you know if it looks a little off or weird. Yeah, it is kind of red and it is kind of swollen, so that's why my eye's like that, just so you know. But as all of you know, yesterday was Mother's Day. And you know, we went to our aunt and uncle's. They have a lake house with the family, with the rest of the family. Well, rest of the immediate family anyway, for Mother's Day. Now, unfortunately, I did not get to see my mom for Mother's Day because she is down in Georgia with my sister for chiropractor school for quite some time, and she is coming back I think in a few weeks or several weeks now, but it's shortly. It's like in June sometime, because she has a break from her quarter. Her and my sister are gonna both come back for that time, so that'll be really exciting. But what I was gonna say was, we did get together with family yesterday for Mother's Day. And as I've told you, I do get sometimes anxious before events like that. Like, I tend to get like really anxious, and sometimes my heart will be like pounding, and I'll start like breathing like this, like sometimes, you know, I get really anxious before even events like that. Like I said, even with the family, even if it's just with the family, I still get anxious. So yeah, even though this was, you know, a family gathering thing, it still made me anxious. Like, I still kind of felt that feeling before I go to even any events where you interact with people or socialize, and if there's going to be a lot of people there. And now, there wasn't like a whole bunch of people on Mother's Day, but there was enough just to, you know, make me feel that anxiety and nervousness before then. But yeah, even though this was a family thing, I still felt anxious about it. Like yesterday, my heart was kind of, you know, doing the pounding thing, and you know, I was kind of starting to kind of breathe fast like this. And I get that way even on the drive there. Like, I was that way when we were on our way there, like driving there. Like, I kind of felt like that a little bit, but usually when I get there, it's all okay. Like, I just feel like the anxiety before then is like the worst part. You know, feeling the anxiety before the actual event is actually worse than the actual event itself, because once you're actually doing the event, you feel a lot better, and you don't feel that way anymore because you're actually there and you're doing it, and it's just like, oh, it's like, okay, yeah, this isn't so bad. Because sometimes, you know, some of us, we tend to think the worst situations that can happen, you know, we tend to think the worst situations that can happen, and usually it's the opposite that ends up happening. It's like, I feel like, sometimes I fear that if I go to something, I'm not gonna have a great time, but in the end, I feel like I always end up having a great time. I feel like I said, the complete opposite happens, like where I thought at first that, oh man, this is not going to be fun, I'm going to have a bad time or something kind of like that. But usually the opposite ends up happening, and I usually end up having a great time with whatever we're doing. And of course, I wore my earplugs, these ones right here that I showed you, but if, like I said, I might need to replace them soon because these are getting kind of gross with all the earwax and stuff. But I did bring and wear these earplugs, and wear them just like this. You're gonna see how they're in my ears, just like this. And you know, sometimes though, when I'm doing stuff, like if I'm out somewhere and I feel nervous that a loud noise might erupt from somewhere, and I get, you know, a little extra anxious about that. Like, it happened yesterday. I did it yesterday too, during our Mother's Day gathering. But what I'll do is I'll sometimes kind of go like this and just kind of push them in more to, you know, I feel like I need to give my ears more protection, because you know, I have this fear that a loud noise might just erupt from nowhere and it might startle me, and it especially doesn't help when I get nervous like that, you know, for something like that happening. So I kind of did this yesterday. So yeah, I did do that with my earplugs yesterday, but you know, I do that even, like I said, in public whenever I'm nervous about something like that, or I get nervous about a loud noise erupting out of nowhere. Like, so yeah, that's what I did. I had to do that yesterday. Well, I didn't have to, but I did, because it just made me feel more comfortable to do it, you know. So yeah, that's what I usually do when I have my earplugs, and that's what I did yesterday. But you know, otherwise that, it was still, you know, really fun getting to see the family and everything, and all that, you know, even though, despite, like I said, being nervous about these things, sometimes they can happen. Still fun to see the family and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of my, you know, Mother's Day experience yesterday. And also, sometimes when I go out and do stuff like that, and even whether it's with family or whatever I'm doing, sometimes, you know, another thing that can kind of make me worried is that someone might say something that I don't really like, and that kind of bothers me. But you know, even if they do say it, you know, the thing is that they don't know that it bothers me. So, you know, I'm not really mad at them because they didn't know. You know, they don't know because I don't tell them. And I just feel like it's too embarrassing to tell them that it does bother me, because it's used in like everyday conversation. Like, I just feel like this word should not be bothering me because it's used in everyday conversations, you know, kinds of things. But it just does. And you know, I just feel like I can't let them know that, because I feel like it's kind of silly and stuff like that for me to be bothered by you know, an everyday conversation word. But yeah, that was my recent experience when we got together for Mother's Day yesterday, and kind of how that was, and you know, what I did. And how I brought my earplugs, and you know, somehow telling you kind of how to do this sometimes with my earplugs. So I was doing that yesterday. But you know, like I said, I was a little anxious. Like, I feel like I always get that way before events, but you know, I was always anxious, and you know, I tend to think the worst of every situation, but the opposite actually happens, and I usually end up having a good time. And that is going to be it for this video. So thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, and also make sure you subscribe if you're new to this channel, and if you haven't subscribed already. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.